All right, everybody, welcome to another Gypsy Road journey into the paranormal effect. Like that, I told you guys I was going to change the name, get the Mandela effect out, bring in another name for respect. Bob is going to be in a second, but we're having echo issues with Bob. We're trying to see if we can fix it. Now, let me see. Bob, say something.
Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta.
Okay, now I don't hear an echo from you, but okay, now I don't hear an echo. All right, looks like we got that fixed.
Are you on Mars, dude? Are you on Mars?
Maybe. You never know.
It looks like it's been oxidized.
We're gonna dive into it, so you guys can really
think of the mask. What do you think? What do you think?
Let me see.
You can't tell. It's a beard. It's a dude with a beard.
Oh shit! It's a mask that's shaped of a beard.
Yeah. Nobody could tell. Well, I got this light on, but this is a science experiment I'm doing. But yeah, it's a beard.
That's right.
I'll actually wear. I don't wear a mask, by the way, but it's a novelty. So if I put it on, I walk around. People think, "Excuse me, you need to put a mask on, sir." I have a mask on, so this is kind of a reverse argument. So because I'm wearing a mask, but only that I have a mask on. It's kind of a nice
concept. That's cool. I want to thank everybody for coming in today. We got a special guest today, the Black Sheep researcher.
Nice.
Today. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. Now, the title of the show, guys, just so everybody knows, it is called "Is the Matrix a Paranormal Effect?" Is Matrix and Paranormal Effect part of the AI? But we're going to be talking more than just the Matrix, okay? We're going to be talking a lot of good stuff that if you go to his website, let me show you guys his YouTube page, just for the people from the chat that's never been to his site. One of the reasons why I like the Black Sheep researcher is because he's got different topics of everything. It's just not about one thing. It's a lot like our show, but he does more. He makes his videos are awesome because he puts it together. He puts video clips, and he does a really great job of directing his own videos. But if you look at his subjects, they're all different. The Great Vowel Shift, Janus, Shanghai's live show, Mystery of the Shroud. I was actually watching that this morning, and I mean, it's just such interesting stuff. And I based the show off his video, "Are We Batteries to the Matrix?" So I wrote some timestamps of different videos that he's done that we're going to dive into that I just think they're fascinating. And one of Bob's favorite subjects is about asteroids, and he's got a cool video about asteroids, and we're going to talk about an asteroid that's coming that's on Friday the 13th. And I know, Bob, I know you like asteroids, so that's going to be fun.
I love ass, man.
And so there's a lot of great people in the chat. We got Flataccord Music. We got our friend Joanne Torres, Nas here, Captain Rakin, Alex Tang is here, Captain Rakin's again. Maybe it's Medela is here. Red Pill Paul's here. So we got a lot of awesome people. And what we're going to do first is I don't want to dive into the main subject just yet because I want more people to come in. So what we're going to do is we might not get to what the fuck news today. We might get maybe at the end, but we're going to start with Grandpa's World just to break some ice, talk about his 2-minute video. And then after the video, we'll get into the main topic once more people come in. So I want everybody to hear our conversations about the Matrix and all that. I want nobody to miss it.
It's gonna be fun, dude. I noticed. I saw him coming on. I was like, I could fucking roll. I was gonna do a last minute what the fuck news. I said, screw it. He's on. We could just talk the whole show. I'm taking a nice brain break. He's got a brain. We'll let him have his brain out here.
That's debatable.
Yeah, so we're just gonna start it with Grandpa's World, and then we'll go right into the main topic. It gives people enough time to come in. So let me pull this up. And Black Sheep, what we do is, just so you know, I don't know if you've seen the beginning of our shows, what we do is we play our friend. He tells just a 2-minute or less story about abductions. We hear his story, we talk a little bit about it, and then usually we go on to another segment. But he's a great guy.
You know.
And like Bob and I always talked about, it doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter if you're young, you're old, you're not. It's awesome to see people speak about things that other people might consider crazy, and to stand up for yourself and give out these stories. It tells you a lot about the person. And I appreciate this man for doing this, and I respect him. And here, we're just gonna go for it.
Hi, it's Grandpa for Grandpa's World. Today I'm going to talk about Cain. And they was in the forest with his brother Abel and his sister Ruth, who was 9 months pregnant. They were hiking and they saw a strange object in the sky, so they took off towards it and watched it come down to the ground. Small aliens with shiny blue eyes and wearing orange gowns brought them aboard. Abel says they harassed him and Cain. They put Cain on the exam table, poked his head with a sharp instrument. To this day, there are bumps on Cain's scalp and his brain hurts in the same spots. They told the men they come from Mars and that Mars is their home world. After they got home, Cain realized he had an odd triangular mark on his hip. All three of them said the aliens come in peace, and they also saw humans dressed in blue uniforms. Okay, Grandpa's got to kind of throw in on this one a little bit. How many of these actual little detailed descriptions could possibly be done by some government agency and getting people to believe they was done by UFOs and aliens, when in fact the government was doing it because it'd be illegal for the government to perform whatever on its citizens. But if they disguised it as aliens, we can do basically anything we want to. Just food for thought. That's it for Grandpa's World today. Have a good one.
Now, there's a reason why I picked this video from him to play today, and it's the part of the video when he says, "Could it be the government pretending they're the UFOs?" Because, like he said, the government can't do experiments on people. You're not supposed to. I'm not saying it's all real or not. This is just speculations here, but by disguising itself as an alien form doing experiment with you, and then of course the government can make fun of you saying you're crazy story when they're actually behind the whole thing. I mean, let's start with Black Sheep Research. Do you think that it is possible that the governments are actually doing these experiments on people and they're creating this fake alien story so people don't see any truth in it?
Me, like growing up and over the few years, I'm a big fan of the X-Files.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a sci-fi geek, you know what I mean? So I love all this. I've saw 2 UFOs myself personally. So what is possible? Anything is possible. That's what I always say, because we just don't know. Sometimes people say, "Oh, you're giving the government too much credit and it's aliens." Well, it's just a label. We don't know what is out there 100%. I mean, you could have people in flat earth community saying, "Well, the dome, so it can't be aliens." Aliens, it's just like an illegal alien. They come from more land. You don't know, or it could be extra. You know what I mean? They say extraterrestrial. It can be, through more land. It could be even spiritual. The people call them archons. It's just a label. So, what is actually an alien is different for every person that is come in contact with that thing. You know what I mean? It's the perspective. So I might see it and I'll look at it and talk about it in a so much different way than someone who's heavily into abductions, and that I might look at it. You know what I mean? So could the government do it? Yes, it could, to make a narrative. And we've also talked about how they're so-called planning an alien invasion. Who knows if it is actually real or not until we actually get to the point. Will it be a hologram? Is it real? We just don't know what tech the government have. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just really do not know. Is it ancient tech? You know what I mean? Are we in a farm? Are we in a zoo? And we get prodded from time to time.
There was an episode on the X-Files. Bob and I used to watch X-Files every single night. It was on a Friday, then they moved to Sunday, and we used to make chicken wings every time the X-Files come in. It was like a tradition. Oh, all right, X-Files coming in. We gotta buy chicken wings. It always, I don't know why we did chicken wings with X-Files, but we did. But I remember there's an episode that Mulder picked up a magazine, like an Enquirer magazine or something, about a UFO alien abduction. And I remember Scully's like, "Why are you looking at that? That's all fake." No, it's not fake. It's planted here on purpose. These aliens are really being abducted or being experimented on, and they put it in this magazine on purpose to throw people off. Bob, you remember that episode I'm talking about?
I don't remember that one. No, I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just saying I don't remember that one. I've watched hundreds of them, so it's like I don't remember that specific one. But most likely, yeah. I mean, I'm with him. I'm into the whole. I mean, when people say alien, they just taking the word out of context. They're thinking little green men from fucking Mars or something. It could be anywhere. Again, with the flat Earth philosophy, they couldn't come from other lands beyond the barrier. Beyond the Great Wall of Ice, like the movie, like that TV series, or they could be interdimensional. Or they could be again, like you said, spiritual. There's a whole plethora of what the fuck are they? I do know, and my opinion, which is stupid, is that I do know they take DNA, and they remind me of bees. And so when I've got to, was doing research all around England, which is awesome. He's on the show. Manchester, all of a sudden, for some fucking crazy reason, has been hitting the bee thing. Like, all of a sudden, I'm seeing the locals are like, this bee wasn't here. And I go, I know, unless somebody came in the middle of the night and tagged the fucking bee on this wall, and that's not fresh paint. The bee symbolism is showing up all over the place. Like, all of a sudden, there's a history for it. It was never here before. So I kind of associate it with, like, the little green fuckers telling me, hey, we're here, we're taking DNA. Like bees take pollen. That's my thing. I'm probably wrong, but that's what I'm running with the whole alien thing. I think they're like bees are just taking DNA. And hell, here we are. Shit. We've got limbo rings in our eyes.
It seemed like I learned a lot of things when I listened to Grandpa's World, because when he does little descriptions of what they're describing the alien form they saw at that time in this story, they were wearing an orange outfit, and then later on they were wearing a blue outfit, and where they experimented on the head, to this day that guy still feels the pain where they went into. So I love hearing a little bit of his stories, because then you start picking apart this with this with this with this, and you're trying to add it all together. And what does it mean? And of course, today's not a flat earth show. We're not talking flat earth or not, but it doesn't matter if somebody believes in flat earth or not. I still believe there's a galaxy. I still believe we're being visited. It doesn't matter if the earth is round or flat or a potato shape. I mean, the space is space. We're surrounded. I can't sit here and believe we're just in a dome and there's nothing out there. For me, that's for me, guys. Okay, people out there. I believe there's things out there and we have been visited. So that's why I love listening to abduction stories. I mean, Bob himself has said, Bob has himself talked about, he felt that he's been abducted. And you know, Taurus out there, Bob's been taking DNA from with alien head jobs.
I know they got it. I know they got it because I got a damn tattoo from the 80s with a white circle in it. There's a white circle in my tattoo. It's brand new, fresh skin in my tattoo. It's a white dot in my. There's no deep. It goes beyond deeper than whatever's. But then I found out, I scrubbed it and look. There's like a triangle of them. There's 1, 2, 3. So the corner one goes in my tattoo, which is a white dot in my tattoo, which is flesh. I went to school for anthropology. I'm not an idiot. It's flesh, but it's gone. The ink circle, perfectly round circle, is gone. And then I found 3 of them now. There's a triangle, just like 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. So it looks like they pulled a plug out. I don't know. They pulled a skin plug out. What do they want with my DNA? Damn it. Take it the old-fashioned way. Everyone's making a joke about it. Do it this way.
Well, maybe it's a shape of a symbol, because one of my timestamps of one of his videos that we're going to be doing later on the show is about like symbols, and how he actually found a 5-pointed star symbol in Washington, D.C. area. So we were going to be showing that from the Black Sheep video in a little bit.
No shit.
Yeah, I watch his videos. I try to pinpoint some timestamps because we can't play.
Oh, that's cool.
Off, so I do have several videos that I wrote down as timestamps. So
this is going to be fun. Yes, cool, man.
You're right. I always say on my channel, you should be able to talk about anything. You should not get, if you are sitting here talking about aliens and people get triggered in the chat, that just means they're under the spell. They're indoctrinated. Trigger words. It's like mind control. Hit something inside you, and you want to defend, you want to fight, you want to argue. It's a natural response. But if you're open to anything, you don't have to believe. You just have to show it respect, because you never know when you're going to find information that will help you. And that's what I'm all about on my channel. Well, I'll try to be anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, you did a quote, or you re-quoted somebody in one of your videos of a man talking about information is knowledge.
Yeah.
And I believe that solid knowledge of researching is such solid. It's such power. More you know, more you learn. And Bob and I always say on this show, you don't have to take everything what we said true. But if you take something and you start researching on your own and you find out your own information, your own knowledge, that maybe you started with Black Sheep channel or Gypsy Road channel, and you develop your own truth of channels. That's power. That's knowledge. Yeah. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. That you showed.
Think about it. If you think, I mean, I was into a lot of martial art films, and I think there was a film called Dragon. Remember, I don't know if you've seen The Last Dragon, and he starts glowing when he starts to believe. Now, information, I believe, is sound. Everything is key in this realm. Sound can create light, magnetism, heat. It can levitate, and it can attract. So if the information is sound and you absorbing the sound because your skin's porous and you're absorbing all this electromagnetic energy, just think of yourself, because we are crystal. Some people get really, crystal. We're 65% crystal, our bones. You have an ear. It's everywhere. So if you imagine information as light and you are becoming more and more bright inside, always people, you know what I mean? It just makes sense to me that more we learn, the brighter we get, and we get that glow. You know, when you're happy or something, you walk into a room and people go, "Oh my God, you're the soul of the party." Just seeing you, you look, really radiant. And, it's all these words are in sayings that mean something. So if you are loving information, you take everything on, you're shining more light. And that's how I see it in my videos. It's just a different way of thinking it. So people understand.
No, you said it perfectly. Okay, right before we dive into his video about the Matrix, the batteries in the Matrix, I did a poll, Bob. I always do polls just to kind of get a feeling what people are thinking. This one poll, actually, I gotta say this real quick. People, I've gotten freaking awesome emails and texts from people for the Monday show. I was shocked that I thought a lot of people were going to email me and say, "I'm off my rocker, you're crazy." But the love that I got from people for the Monday show is just so wonderful. I got to say thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm glad. I'm just so happy. But I did a poll after the show just for fun to see, because everybody wanted different names. What name is popular? What's this? So I put like 4 names or 5 names of changing the Mandela effect name, because I won't use it no more. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to dishonor Nelson Mandela himself. But I put I put the McMahon effect. I put the quantum effect for Texas Danny, the Alice effect, the penny bags effect, Gypsy Road effect. And I was shocked and surprised to see that quantum effect was the leader of what people wanted to change to, because I don't like the guy named Quantum Businessman. So I wasn't a fan using the word quantum, but to most people, 38% wants the quantum effect. And then I was double shocked when people put my name second, Gypsy Road effect. I'm like, holy shit. But going into the comments, people, I can't choose. Reality is fucked. Oh shit, dog, change before my eyes. Okay. Well, some people put the Janus effect. Some people wrote conjunctive failure effect. Personally, I don't like the word effect, and I respect that. I was just using the word effect just because it was used with Mandela. That's why I did that. But he wrote, how about alternate reality theory, which is cool. People wrote, some people blame So the hydrogen collider effect. Okay.
Ooh.
Reality adjustment. The Zulu effect. I like that. I even wrote, we should use the name Hank or Clyde. The reality shift. So I love it that people, what I'm getting at is I love how people have sense of humor. It's having fun. Now, even though I'm not going to be using the word Mandela effect no more, I'm going to be using, for me, paranormal effect. I'm going to use that because Mandela is a paranormal effect. But we're not on that show for Monday. I just want to say thank you for voting. But today I wrote, do you feel that the paranormal effect is part of the Matrix AI? Okay, and then 50 out of 31 votes so far, 52% says yes, they do believe it. 35% says no, and 13% says don't know much about the Matrix and the AI. Which 13%, that's an honest answer. If you're not into an AI conversation or a Matrix, I fully 100% understand that. You know, you don't have to believe in the Matrix. Now, you might just believe in an AI and we're not living inside the Matrix. The Matrix word is like such a gray area word. It's even in the Bible now. So Matrix can be used in all different ways. Now, do I believe we're living in a simulation? No, I don't. But I do believe that there's so much power to the AI that the AI
Fake.
What's that, Bob?
It's all fake. It's a comic book, man. Nothing's real. Oh, it's just me talking to myself. You guys go ahead.
No.
Ain't nothing real to me, man.
No, so I just wanted to just show what people are voting on. And it's always great when people take time out to, put in their thoughts. I love that. But I'm going to pop up a video from his channel. Let me get it back up. Let me go down to this one.
Oh, God.
Well, I'm going to go back now. Of course, I can't play the whole video or that's the whole show. So what I did is I tamped some stuff that could start a conversation and we could get into. But I'm going to start at 1507. Before I even start with this part, I love the part where in the movie The Matrix, they're talking about using humans as the batteries in the movie. Yeah. And I liked how Black Sheep researcher Paul was saying that you really can't use humans because if humans are like asleep and stuff, they're not really producing a lot of energy because the idea of a battery is to get full max energy. Okay. Yeah. And having bodies set, you're not getting the energy. It's like, think about this way, people. Think about a lot of places uses waterfalls to get energy because water keeps constantly moving. And that's where you get your strongest energy, your strongest power. Human bodies, if you just had them asleep, dreaming, and you have machines hooked up to it, you're not going to get that much power from a human. You're just not. And when I heard that from a Black Sheep researcher, I'm like, this guy gets it. I love his way of thinking that to get full power from a human, you got to keep them running. You got to have things hooked up to them, like running on a machine. Bob,
and emotional. They got to be emotional.
Yes.
Love, hate, yeah. all the feelings, all the whole spectrum, and they have to have it.
Yes.
More juice that way.
Exactly. Like Bob, you had a bike at your house, and you're a crazy motherfucker, Bob, where you had a bike that was powdering up a battery to power up in your house. But to get the battery going, you have to constantly keep going.
Yeah, I had it a way where you could hook it up to a battery, a couple of car batteries, and it'll charge up that way. But it's Korean, and it had nuclear stuff in it, so I had to be careful. But you could power it, and it keeps the whole thing going. Yeah, the whole fucking house, man. It was insane. This thing was sold on the market. It was sold on an underground market, but exactly. We're talking about Eric Power, and it's a small box. I can't imagine what humans can produce. My God, man, easily.
Why is power so important to everything? Well, if you believe in ghosts, people, ghost is energy. Ghost is power. You got to have energy. You got to have power. If you see a ghost, they run. What do you hear the most? They run out power. They run out energy. Power. So everything is a power. But I'm going to play this video. I just did a starting point. but we're gonna hear about 3 minutes. I'm gonna pause it in between these 3 minutes because there's some interesting conversations I want to have within this video. Here we go.
Look at the word again, item. Yes, it's another anagram for time. So it's weird, some of the things it's getting. I mean, another word that you can make out with time, it me. So time is me. It me. We're time, you're time. Time is not what society knows as the general. I just believe it's a decayence of the energy, the harness to control us. The power is so strong. And when you research, when you are re-looking for things that you already know, but through spell casting, through the sigils and indoctrination through this society, the dumbing down, we have lost all the knowledge and we are really looking for it. So that is why we can get to different truths, because yes, we've already know this truth and we already know that truth, but because we're in a different vessel and a different, let's say a hard drive computer processor, the brain is slightly different, yes, and it's an ongoing battle. It's a fight between the physical mind and the spiritual or soul mind, and sometimes we butt heads, but if you can work together, maybe you get out of here better, different, you get out of here quicker, you experience things more, you become more awake, as people like to use. If we are more awake, we see things differently. I've talked about it in some.
I am going to continue it because I like the part where you start getting into a Modelo theory, but just talking about that one part about time and just like the truth, getting information where you're talking about like talking to different kind of people to find the truth and how society is dumbing down.
Oh, yeah, you got that right.
And I like to get a Modelo, but I like the part where you talk about as society we are kind of dumbing down, but by having open links, like you can hate YouTube all you want, you can hate Google all you want, but because there's YouTube, we are now able to start talking to different people to share information instead of dumbing down. We're hearing, because information is what makes you grow as a person. Learning, I don't care what age you are, more you learn, more you grow. And so to stop dumbing down, you got to be open to information. Now, I am going to play a couple more minutes of it, but Black Sheep, what were you saying about the time and information? What do you mean by that one part of the video?
Well, if you think of time, I was just looking for words, obviously, from the etymology, because if we look at time, I was thinking, well, time is, emit, and you've even got emit, which is sound very similar in Back to the Future. So if we emit, if time, what we know as time, because obviously time is a man-made construct, but we do get older. You know what I mean? Visibly, you can say it. So I was thinking, if it's a bioproduct of our soul, our energy inside, these vessels can only hold so much. Like a nuclear power station, you have so much lifespan. We have a lifespan to come into this realm to experience it and learn what we can while we're down here. You know what I mean? You can call it, like Westworld. You can call it assimilation. It's just a label. So, you know what I mean? When we're talking about time, no one really knows. I have an opinion on it, and you guys will have a different opinion on it. Isn't it funny that we all have different opinions, and sometimes we do align somewhere to agree on something? Yeah, we're here to experience. You know what I mean? I've learned so much since just making that video. It's just mind-blowing, the information. And if we are here to experience life, and people believe in reincarnation, and then obviously I've learned about in Gnosticism, they talk about how we've got to get through 7 doors, and you need to know the words of this realm to get through different words. So I was talking before about the great vowel shift. It's information. So if they change how we speak, how possibly could we know everything in this realm? And people are getting dumbed down. People are talking about, oh, they're an NPC. They're and you hear people talk reptilians. There's so many theories out there. Why? Because people see so much different things, and you should never call anyone for seeing something different, because you're not looking with their eyes. Your eyes vibrate. You supposedly you see upside down, and we're only seeing 3 colors, but that's just the science. So what time, if you're more happy and positive, time flies. It's because you're in the moment. You're not thinking about it. Your brain's not working as hard, so the time feels like it's flying. The energy, and then when you're sad, it's really, really slow because you're contemplating and you're dwelling on things, and the emotion in you creates, like Bob was saying before, power and energy. We are, like I said, 63% or 65% crystal. The pineal gland is crystal. Adrenaline is crystal. Blood's a crystal base. So that harnesses energy. So if you can create a fight or flight reflex on an ongoing basis, you're releasing adrenaline and you're getting the power. It's like you're getting a power surge ready. You know what I mean? So it's just mind blowing on everything that we learn. And like we was talking before, the more you learn, the better the picture for this realm. You can see if you don't learn nothing, you're just going to look at the same wall. I mean, how quick were you going to get bored of that? But if you look at it from a different perspective, or go around the wall, break the wall down, climb over, you're going to enjoy this realm. And unfortunately, we're not allowed to enjoy it in a minute. Fun seems to be going out the window.
Yeah, I like he wrote, "We are taught the same, but we see different," and that's true. I like that saying. I'm going to continue his video for another minute or two. There's something else that he speaks here that I really I don't know, inspired me.
In the last videos, our eyes of the law. We see people see things so differently, and people experience glitches in the matrix. So that's one of the terms that's used. You can even talk about the Mandela effect. I've done so many videos on that. People still get triggered about the Mandela effect. It's not real. You're misremembering. Yeah, you're misremembering, all right. Yeah, a family of 5, my mum and 3 kids, and now was it 4? Can't remember. I'll say misremembering. But we was watching a news channel. We were just flicking over. I was going from music, sport, and different things. Flicking over, and we put the news on. Breaking news: Gene Wilder has died. And the kids went, "Whoa, Charlie!" You know, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I loved that film. I watched that when I was a kid. They were saying, and they made him put it on. I was then doing a show that night, and I was talking to the other hosts, and they said he died 2 years ago. So people experience so many different things, but like anything in any movement, people lose themselves. They lose the fact it's all about me, and that is when things change. The law changes in your eyes when you start to think it's all about you. Maybe as a society, we're going to get out of here in large groups. Maybe we need enough power, more strength, a spell, a code. Because I'm sounding like more and more. I'm talking about the Matrix. Are we living in a simulation?
You know, we talked about.
I agree with.
Well, that's why I love that. That's why I wrote this timestamp for that section, because he's absolutely right. Because sometimes you hear somebody dies, and then you go to another show, you hear it dies, and then then it spreads like wildflower. Then somehow everybody remembers, like they think they got a planted memory of somebody dying. Kind of like what the show we did on Monday when somehow, and I'm honest when I said this, that nobody knew Nelson Mandela until he became prime minister. 95% of Americans never heard of the guy. I'm sorry to say it, but you never heard of a prime minister from Africa. Forget it. More or less, people know who's the prime minister of the UK if you live in America. And then everybody starts believing in it without even looking into the truth. And when I was coming out on Monday, bringing in the truth that how it's so easy to think a different timeline when there should never even been one. I'm not saying things didn't change in reality of everything, but there's certain things that we jumped the gun way too much, too fast, without doing your proper research. I know that's a dead horse. We're beating a dead horse about doing research and trying to learn facts and truth about what you just learned. But it is true. We take things and we run too easily, too fast, without even looking into it. And that's why when I've learned how groups were using the name Mandela just for a money purpose, and they were dishonoring what Nelson Mandela did in his life, I have chosen for myself to not use that name. So Paul, when you did that clip, it really spoke to me what you were saying. It did. It's like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And when I hear other people talking about it in their own different way, it made me feel good. Did I take it out of content? Did I?
Like I say, and I always say this: it doesn't matter what I try and make my videos where people take their own context out of it, because people don't understand when I research and do a video. I'm trying to do it objectively and just show you what I found, and don't necessarily believe in everything I'm finding, but I present, I put it together so people can really see what information there is out there. Because if I was biased, my videos would be one way and one way. People just don't understand how you can make a video objectively, and that's what I try and do. Obviously, sometimes what your own beliefs creep in, because when you make anything, you always leave a piece of yourself in it. So you're always going to get a little bit of your beliefs in a video, because it's so hard to be 100% objective, because you're always going to come to something. So I just don't understand why. See what's happening in the Mandela community, because I did a video on live and I asked, why is the Mandela community hated? And I made some points. This was from the day. I said, is it the list of the channels the people have been exposed to? So if you are new to YouTube or a subject and you get the wrong channel, that can influence you so much, and it creates a belief system in you. So some of the channels are aggressive in nature. And they say, if you believe this, is it this? And sometimes people don't like to say, no, I don't believe in that, because they're scared of getting pointed out. So you should always be, in a way, in a chat, open to any suggestion. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference between showing people respect and having a good, honest debate. Sometimes, yes, they get heated, because we're human after all. You know what I mean? So it's so a tricky subject, the Mandela, because people automatically, as soon as you see the Mandela, they think of Nelson Mandela, and then do you know what I mean? It's wrong to have it. I mean, like a few people have said in the chat, and I did when I was watching on Monday. I go into all the communities because I try and learn what I can. I just like learning new stuff every day.
Yeah.
So when I went in the Mandela community, within days, I was like, well, right, guys, what do people believe is causing this? And hardly anyone will say anything. It's all about residue all the time, 100%. And that's good, because you need to show for them people, but you need to learn. So I come out of the communities and, like I said, stay me on. And then I just started researching and using ancient history. And I found out that the Sumerians have, it's called ME. So you're talking about a civilization, whether you believe it or not. Obviously, Anunnaki, some people don't believe, and stitching, and it's fake. But the Sumerians were here. It's obviously the Anunnaki who people are touchy on. But if they have something called the Sumerian MEs, and it talks about our connection to the gods. So doesn't that sound like a paranormal effect?
Yeah.
Something different that thousands of years ago, they have things that affect our connection to God, to the Creator, to people. I just found that so fascinating, and I was putting this theory out to people, and people just didn't want to know in the community.
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't you want to know? You don't have to believe in it. You don't have to accept it. It could be total rubbish, but have a look at it.
That's what I say. Yeah.
100%. I've said it on this show. Every time somebody brings out the word residue, it's. I even made a Whopper machine with residue just for fun. Residue, what's real and what's not, and it's easy for a show to have something. I don't know, a song change, right? And then they go find articles or a misspelled word. Out of 1,000 articles, they find 3 articles that has the word misspelled. And they base their whole residue on 3 articles saying, look at this place. They misspelled the word. Out of 1,000, you're going to find misspelled words. You just are. You just are. Or they'll use that, well, at the Super Bowl, they sang it this way. Well, people are going to sing songs their way. They're going to change the words to make it easier for where they speak, because I have a speaking problem. I never hide from it. I have hearing issues, so sometimes I say words wrong. I don't mean to say it wrong, but you just say it wrong. And way certain people sing, sometimes they sing a song differently because it's easier for them to sing it than the original way because people speak differently. So, what do you think of all this?
No, I'm with him. I don't look at when people see Mandela effects or whatever you want to call them. I go to I'm having a blast. I'm a decoder. I decode, so I like to look at the code. So first thing people are saying, hey, I'm going to use avocado. I mean, who cares? The A is an O. The O is an A. The A is an O. I go, okay, let's just look at the history of school linguistics. One is effeminate, one is a masculine. So it's switched from effeminate to a masculine, and this switched to a masculine to a feminine in Latin. So even the letters themselves, like Mandela, the M-E, M is Greek. It's M. Look at the M. Look for the number for M. Look at the number for E. So these are codes. Everything's a code for me. Everything's. So I look at whatever it is, identify what it is. I look at the language. I break down the word to what it came from. And if I've noticed that there was a letter change, then I'll have to go to break down the suffix of the word and say, okay, well, this part of the word is actually Germanic, which goes back to this. So this changed here. And a lot of the American being over here in Europe, and he'll understand what I'm talking about. He'll know what the black sheep will know, because a lot of the American changes that you're seeing is British spelling or English spelling. It's English spelling. So when I look at all the change, I go, oh, that's a European spelling. America, goddamn, it's a Mandela effect. Some of a bitch, goddamn word change. I go, well, actually, that's an English spelling. That is over a year. So the Europeans are going, what are you talking about, man? That's the way it's always spelled. You guys were spelling it wrong. So we've adapted the English or European spelling. So the United States has taken on a strong European influence. Somehow in the past, things have become European. Now, I talk about the pith helmets on the American soldiers in the wild, wild West. Pith helmets, the Prussian helmets with the spike are from Prussia. They're not American. Americans did not have them helmets, and now we're natives in the Time Life magazines of the Great West. Native Americans with a damn spike on the helmet. They got it from one of the soldiers. That's European. So again, look at the codes and go back. Don't look at the damn effect and what it means, or just look at the code of break it down. And there's even math involved in everything.
Yeah.
Think, okay, this comes out to this. Well, this comes out to, this letter is actually this number, and this is this number, and it comes out to this number. It's once you figure out the pattern codes, you can literally see whatever it is, AI, lampshade, God, whatever, is talking. It's just talking. Yeah. Like you're looking at the Anunnaki, you're looking way back with the Sumerians. They had the same thing. So you said the gods are talking to them. They had the same codes. So they're just deciphering codes too. So God talks not in English, not in, if nobody speaks the same language, he's going to talk in math and in symbolisms and code. So that's that easy. So once you learn the pattern, you can start hearing what he's saying, or she, or it, or the lampshade. The great turtle fucking cares.
Just say, he wrote, so the truth community is, first of all, I want to make it clear, we are not making fun of any truth community or nothing. Yeah. We're just having open conversation. Okay, so if people are taking it like, what Eric is against the truth community? No, we want the truth, but we believe to talk about the truth and figure out what is the truth. What we're saying is, just don't listen to one person and thinking that man has all the truth, because nobody has all the truth. Because if we all had the freaking truth, we wouldn't be doing a YouTube show.
Yeah,
we just want it. Because why? We already know the truth. We're just talking.
I don't want the truth, man. I don't want the truth. I want to find the answer. It's fun. It's a damn game.
We want to find the answer. We're searchers. We're searchers. We want to find the truth. So I just want to make that clear. We're not making fun of any community, because we represent all communities. Okay, so beyond that, I got another timestamp of one of his videos. It's very interesting. Let me get it here. Okay. So one of the videos that Paul did is called, I gotta get here. It's called the Disney AEIOU Pentagrams Masons Oh My. but I love his symbols.
So
And
to go slightly,
Oh yeah.
I love his symbols. So I found part of his video that he's got so much great stuff, guys. It's hard to pick everything. So I kind of try to pick and choose. Maybe it was interesting to me. So if there's more stuff you guys say I'm missing, I apologize. He's got a lot of great stuff. It's hard to pick out all of it, but here's one that I liked. So here we go.
off track. As you can see, Pythagoras, Disney, Donald Duck here, showing you the secret symbol, the pentagram. But where have we seen that before? Obviously in Disney, but look, none other than Washington, DC. It's a pentagram. Obviously, it's the inverted one. It's changed it round, but it's still a pentagram. You look at the flag, and you can see the pentagram in the middle, and the stars, they're pentagrams. The five-pointed star. The Pythagoreans believed the pentagram, as you can see here, are the different elements. We'll just look at the elements there. Now, here it is written out, not by me, but just by the site, and you can see UYIELA. Tell me, what is that almost identical to? You're talking about a little line, a squiggle, and I've written it here, OUIEA. Yes, AEIOU. The pentagram, Disney, you name it, the Pythagoreans, and all you're talking about is one little squiggle away from the vowels. Blows your mind, that, doesn't it? Because it's blowing mine. So this is.
Let me ask. I'll go straight to it. Why? Okay. Looking at the star, pretend that I'm just anybody in the chat. Why is that important for me to know about the 5-pointed star and how, like in Washington D.C., that it does match up with certain places in it? What's the meaning behind it?
Well, it's obviously it's a symbol, but it's also a sigil.
Okay.
Sigils are power. I mean, just think of it now. If I just said to you a yellow M, what would you say straight away? You would say McDonald's. Everyone knows it. It has power. This world is made of spells because it's spelling. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So sigils have just not enough power. I mean, I was talking about before about the gates. Now, they said if you didn't know the word to get through this gate, you had to know the symbols. You needed to know the sigils. So that's why sigils mean power. It's energy. When we speak now, because the earth around us is a gas, a liquid of sorts, when we talk, our energy is creating cymatics, it's creating sigils. Obviously, we cannot see it, they're invisible, but according to society, everything is vibrating. So if everything is vibrating and when we speak, we're leaving energy trapped. That's why sometimes when you can walk into a room, the hairs on the back of your neck go on end because energy has been trapped, like we're talking about before, like electromagnetic frequencies. So it all gets trapped. And these vowels, I just came across, it was so important because there's an event that happened in the 12th century, 13th century to the 18th, like a reset. It's called the Great Vowel Shift. They changed how we speak. You had the Black Plague, and then they changed how we speak. English or Anglish, ang means incubus or a nightmare. So straight away, even the language is giving you a nightmare. And then obviously, Bob will know, in the UK and also around the world, you have different boroughs or whatever, we call them council city districts. People talk differently.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean? And it's the same everywhere. So if you say, you know, a certain greeting in one place, it's not going to be the same in another place. And that's how oral tradition and how we talk and spell gets mixed up. Oh, I remember it that way. Yeah, because you might have been living over there and you brought them, you know, things weird. So it's hard because language, English is done on purpose. It's to reset us. We had the plague, right? That was in the 13th, well, the 14th century, but the early 13th century. That killed a lot of the population off. So when you kill a lot of population off, you then think, say what? To stop people from progressing, we'll change how they speak, how they read, and we'll change all the science. Most of the science is still used today. So it's like showing you what indoctrination really means and where it actually came from in this time period called the Great Vowel Shift. And Disney was a part of it. I believe he was one of the brother, you know, in the Pythagoreans, because there's so much detail, like the Y in the flag where he was born. And that Pythagoras has the Y philosophy, the forking of the paths it's called, and you can either choose good or evil. So it's just I just love looking at things and trying to take everything in. You know what I mean? It's a crazy thing to actually look at. And then obviously if you've been in one belief for so long and then you come across new information and it knocks you for six because it goes against what you think. I'm at that stage now where I'll take it all in, you know, and it doesn't scare me. I'll ask questions that people don't want to ask.
Yeah, well, you know, like linguistics you're talking about was brilliant because same thing happened in the United States back in like the early 1800s, and people don't know it. Like the East Coast, they go up that accent, right? Everyone talks. They talk about a hot dog. They want a hot dog. People don't understand that the common folk didn't talk that way. The aristocrats actually borrowed and practiced English from the hoity-toities of England. So the rich people, the relatives of the queen, they practiced, kept trying to keep their English accent. So Americans speaking American tried to keep an English accent that were a high society. And in doing so, they created the East Coast accent. People don't know that. And a lot of that, and then of course the common folk would listen to the aristocrats and they would speak it. So that's why they don't sound like they're from the South. Everybody in the East Coast, they like you talked about, there's a certain vowel shift.
Now,
and
Bob,
the aristocrats all keep the vowel shifts going.
Now, Captain Reagan wrote, the question is, why is America, do they demonize the Southern accent?
What? Wait, who does that question? Why does Americans do it? Nobody demonize. I don't demonize it. Hell, I have a Southern accent. I don't demonize it. You know what? Maybe they make fun of it because, you know, it's a little bit slower. It's a drawl. Actually, it sounds fine to me. I'm over in England. People love it. If it's a thing for you, come to England. They'll love you. They love your English. They love your Southern accent.
It says here, America was never liberated from England. Laugh out loud. Rome owns it all anyway.
Of course, yeah. That's why they got the fascists. Yeah, he'll know that. He'll know about the fascists everywhere. The goddamn, when the hell did the United States government get a fascist on anything? There's a fascist in here.
I think Southern is just popular because you hear you hear it more now. Because Bob, you and I at one time in our life we lived in Maryland. I took a job over there, and when I was when I was in charge of a cable company out in Maryland, I had people from Pennsylvania. I had people from Gettysburg, Maryland, DC, and it was so amazing how each person that was I working with all sounded different. Not just Bronx, New York. I mean, there's so many different sounds, and for me, it was hell at first because each person was saying a sentence, they meant it in a different way. Because just where and these people, and they were all working in the same shop, but it was just amazing to me that 20 miles away they speak different. 20 miles away over here, speak different, and I had to learn the language of even in America, speaking the same language. I had to learn the language again on what they meant behind a simple sentence.
Yeah, and nobody making fun of the Southern accent. No, and he's right about England. Where you go to a block, you go to a different block, you can't understand them. Yeah. You go to another block over here, they speak completely different. Everywhere you go, it's like a little pocket. They all have their own language in their own areas. It's brilliant, man.
And even spell the same as well. In different counties, they even change the word of the spellings.
Yeah, and that's why Americans are having a problem. It's just like over here, but they're like, it was never like that. Well, yeah, actually, it is over here. So whatever's over here is like over there. It's just the same thing. You know, I'm like a Mandela. Ain't no Mandela effect over there. It's just a European spelling.
Now, this video is just great because it shows how Disney had all these symbols in it. You just had to look for them, you know. And I love this video he made because he spots it out, the symbols that are hidden inside the movie.
Let's see it. I want to see it. Yeah.
You know, like a simple one like this.
The secret hand. Yeah, the secret. Yeah. It's all through the cartoons, all the way through it. Yeah, all the symbols.
It's just, and then of course the big one, the money.
Oh yeah.
Now, Paul, if I'm looking at this picture, what am I looking for in this picture?
It just represents. See, when people see this, they think straight away they think Illuminati or the Eye of Providence or the All-Seeing Eye. I mean, I've got my own personal opinion on what the All-Seeing Eye and the triangle represents. It's the vocal cords. The vocal cords are a pyramid. I've just not long did a video on that, and obviously tied it in with 369 because, obviously, say this realm, frequency, sound, energy, vibration. It's all about sound. So if you can control the sound, and that's what they're trying to do with these face masks, they're stopping the spirit, which is your breath. You know what I mean? I mean, I've gone to town on that, and I found a link why they're doing all this. And I know people like, oh my god, but people, I call it Janus or Janus because he's a two-faced god. So if you put a face mask on, you're creating yourself to be two-faced. When this first came, you know, this thing came to light. It was in December. Well, December is his month getting ready. That's when you say your vows to him, New Year's resolutions. People automatically think of January because that was named after him. But you've got January is his, and then every first day of every month. So the 1st of Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December are all his days. To Rome, to Latin, to Latium, he is the god of gods. So people don't even realize how they even spelled it at the beginning. Novel, coronavirus. It means Roman crown disease.
Hey, Paul, we have a question for you. Tomicon asked Paul if he thinks face mask connected to the submarine flood story.
Marion.
Oh, Sumerian flood story.
Connected to Sumerian. Well, that's what is tricky. I mean, Janus appears in Sumerian pictographs because there's a two-faced image. So he appears back then, and this was the talk of when the Sumerians or the Anunnaki created human from the DNA to mine the gold. He appears in that. So you even have, and I've got it on my computer, and I showed it in my videos. The Sumerian god, there's a Sumerian god called Ia. Well, it's only AI. The opposite way around. So to link the first mask to Sumerian, I can't see it, but I've connected not only the virus itself, the crown, to Janus because he invented crowns. I've showed evidence for that. Even the word pandemic or pandemic, one of his ethos is a goat, not a goat. He's a horned god. So even the name pandemic is named after him. People were talking in the chat about CERN. His other name is Cernunnos. So the guy who's god of portals, doorways, is Cernunnos. How more can you get? Can you? How big is that? A guy who's in charge of the portal or a janitor, he has the keys, the frequencies, the keys. He's in charge of everything that connected to us, the heavens. And people say, yeah, he's a very minor deity. Well, the evil in this realm don't think so. Do you know what I mean? It's even in the lab to sort out your blood samples and stuff and all the things that you send in. The equipment they're using is called Janus.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So the name of the machine is even, the other day I found out he's even turning up in our P. Janus particles. So the guy... This is his year, 2020, the duality. You know what I mean? He started off with 4 faces and he's down to 2. So this guy is so influential to these. He was the first pope. Now, if I say another name, then you know this guy, Janus or Janus, was the first shipbuilder. But you might know him as his other name, Noah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
You know what? I had a timestamp about the word Pope meaning something else, so we already got to that timestamp. So I like that. Hey, Bob, you love money. You love history of money. What do you think of this comment, Bob?
What's that? The world was shaped by.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The gold back dollar. There's no gold. Not in this. I mean, I'm not from this reality. So in this reality, there's no gold back dollars. I know that. I remember I paid off my house 3 times, my social security number, and paid off all my bills for pretty much the whole year. So I proved it scientifically by doing it myself that there is no money. I use my own social security number, and I keep telling people that. Understand that I used my own social security number, and I put it on camera, and I paid for everything. So yeah, there's no gold back dollars. Correct. It actually goes back to the dates keep fucking changing. Early 1800s, and then it moves forward to the 70s. The fact that South America, the Panama Canal is in a different angle. There used to be gold that came out of the West, California, but the history of the gold rush and going through the Panama to get it to the east, the whole gold thing is thrown out the window. I have no idea what's going on. Because of the Panama Canal itself, where there used to be the number one passage to deliver gold to the east and all over the world from California, is all fucked up. So I'm into whatever's now. That's why it's a comic book for me. Yeah, there's no gold back to anything because I proved it already. And you guys can do the same thing. I highly recommend you guys pay your bills off with your cards.
Well, here, let me go to.
What symbol was that? What symbol was that?
Hold on.
What was that symbol?
About that, like the Y symbol. Hold on.
What is that?
Where was it?
What is
that? Not this one. You're talking about the Y, like the Y shape symbol?
Yeah.
This one? Oh, there it is. Hold on. This one?
It was. You had one pop up, but there's the Y symbol. Yeah. I'm going to ask you, what does that mean? I'm asking him.
The Y, obviously in Chicago, which I was taking this from, they'll say it's the three rivers, right? The meeting up. But this Y philosophy goes back to Pythagoras. All of his rituals and teachings, he never wrote a book. So the guy who's so influential now, he never wrote a book. So he passed everything on orally.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So all these people teaching, and he is the secret society top dog. All of the rituals and stuff, that nearly 90% of them came from Pythagoras and his secret society called the Brotherhood of the Pythagoreans. Yeah. Now they loved the Y. It was so you have a Y in your brain. I call it the tuning fork.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? To pick up the frequencies of this realm. So this Y is so deep. And once you see it, you'll start looking into the different things. And this video was talking about how Disney and secret societies do the hand gestures, which if you look at the etymology, for instance, I can't even do it because people say I'm in the club. You know what I mean? You know how ridiculous people get. But that on the screen there is not the horns because it's the Y. The thumb is tucked in. So it represents the Y.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, so that is the Y. If you set the thumb out, that's the horns, or I love you in, as you got the Y there. I saw it the other day, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, should I say something? So this is the Y. This is showing you that they're in the club. So how can all these secret society symbols spell the vowels out if it's not meant to be, you know what I mean? You can see the thumb's in, so it's the shape of a Y. If the thumb's out, it's the horns. And I mean, A in etymology is ox. It's the ox. That's how it started. And then you had E, which is like the rejoice, which is, the arms up. Then you had I, which was the hand, I. And then you had I as O, because it's a circle. This is where the etymology comes from. And then you had U, which was the Y, as you see in front of you. So this is where the etymology for each of them letters, and it spells A-E-I-O-U. You're even talking about AI today. It contains the vowels.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. That's real good. Sign language.
So
I'm gonna say my name, Eric.
You think the Y is why in heavy metal music they people say it's the symbol of the beast, but
people will go the horns, but the horns is with the thumb out. Now, if they do that, that is the Y. Now, Pythagoras, as you know, he did the music structure. So he was a musician, a philosopher, so politics and different things. This is why you see now the celebrities and politicians doing all these symbols. This is just my opinion, of course, from my research of these are legit etymology where A came from. It came from the ox's head turned upside down. E-I-O-U. So they're the words right in front of you. So if each of them symbols that they're doing spells the vowels, and the last great reset of the language was called the Great Vowel Shift. Break vowel up, it's vowel. You're vowing to God. So they're changing the shift from the God, from our God or the God to the God. And obviously, if we are talking all the time, creating energy, and we're using their language, we're feeding the system. We're feeding we're batteries. We're using how we speak. It's a spell. It contains energy. So if we say a word like label, we always label something like that's a mouse.
Somebody wrote
la. So la not only is a song, but la is how you pronounce Latium. That's Latium. That's how you pronounce it, Latium. So and then Baal is Baal, who's Janus. So he's a god of keys. You know what I mean? Keys frequently.
I'm seeing in the chat they were talking about the bull. The bull was a letter first to or cow, wasn't it? But then then I'm seeing the conversation of the bull keep coming.
It's an ox or a bull.
There's a lot of bulls, a lot of cattle, in the Bible too.
Was the bull. So and what's this? 5 letters like the 5-pointed star.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as soon as you say the 5-pointed star, we're automatically programmed to think devil worship, witches, and people get mistaken between the pentagram and then the pentangle, which the pentangle's got the circle all around it. So we're done like this on purpose. We're meant to trigger. So if we're learning now and we're getting excited, some people will see this and think, oh my God, this is going against my beliefs. I'm triggered. I'm going to have to say something nasty because it's programmed into them. As soon as you break the narrative, the spell, it's like an auto defense system.
No, you are, dude, you're 100% right. Bob and I used to have a guest to come on a few times named the Witch Goddess. And when people hear the word witch, they automatically think devil worshiping and all that. And the people who believe in the witch way has nothing to do with Satan, none of that. It's just a way of respecting nature. They're believing in nature.
And like the Salem witch trials.
Yes.
And people don't understand that Salem, the original Salem, is Jerusalem. Its old name was Salem. So that was the original first Salem.
Really? I didn't know that part.
Yep. Jerusalem was Salem. The original Salem. Yeah, the king of Salem. I can't pronounce his name off by heart because it was, you know what I mean? But that is the original Salem. And then obviously they put the Jura on in front of it, so it's Salam. You know what I mean?
Salam. Yeah.
And then you could have Shalom on, different things. So it's pronunciations again.
Great, yeah. Shalom alaikum. Shalom alaikum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times have we been in this country? How many times have we been invaded? You keep adding different flavors of language and spellings and etymology. No one knows what's going on, and that's why the truth is so diverse because you got so many different meanings. Look at the word truth. What's right in the middle? You. That's why it's so personal. When you go against your truth, people get, oh my God, triggered. He's attacking my belief because it's personal.
Yeah, it's personal. I keep it personal. I always tell people, I'm not going to say anything about anything. It's as long as you're not eating a baby and and you're not doing bad things. Now there's we have a built-in thing in every fucking human that just knows bad is bad. You just know it's bad.
Yeah.
But if you're following whatever rules you're following that's good, then I don't care I don't care. As long as you're good, it's a good philosophy.
I mean, we talk about 666. Some people find it the devils, and then if you do research, it says alternative. I mean, which side are we supposed to believe? Because that's what history is. History. It's history. Whoever wrote it, it's all lies. I mean, what is lies? It's lies. So it settles all over history. And
oh my God, his story. That's his story.
Yeah.
It's always written. It's written by the victors. So that's outside of all philosophies across the board, guys. You can take everything and throw it away. But one thing you can take with you is it's written by the victors. So take it what you want with that one.
I know you was mentioning obviously the Pope and different things, and obviously you got it in front of you now. the Pope is an anagram for Apophis. Apophis is the great serpent, Egyptian, history. Now, his other name is Apep. And so Pape is mean father, and the Pope's name's father. So Apophis means Apep, which means the Pope. So even his name is a serpent.
Another serpent. And there's that S that shows up everywhere too. The Superman, I always tell people the Superman S changed for me. And I look at it, it's a damn snake. Now, bottom line, I don't know who put it in the past and changed it and whatever this reality is. It's a damn snake. I mean, there's just no arguing about it. Like everyone knows the S on Superman is a snake. It's a damn snake.
That's it right there, Bob.
Version. It looks like a Python version. But yeah, it's a damn snake, man, once you look at it. It's got the eye. Well, that one looks different, though. That's like an exaggerated big-ass version, but it's a snake, man. Just to me, the old...
Man, so maybe that's why the S looks a little different.
So why is the snake showing up everywhere? Now, the snake is showing up in everything. There's S's showing up on people's names. It was never there. S is showing up on this. S is showing up on that. I'm like, oh, there's another. Again, throw my shit away because I'm a piece of shit. But I was writing down, another S. Okay, well, that's probably the serpent. Whatever the serpent means. It means enlightenment, education, truth. I don't know. Whatever I was programmed to think. Whatever lie I have in my head. But yeah. Ooh, asteroids.
Yeah. Here. Let me play a little bit of this.
This one called Apophis, the god of chaos. Who's created?
Now, this meteorite.
Headlines already. As you can see, NASA asteroid news: Apophis will graze the path of satellites surrounding the Earth. Deadly god of chaos, space rock capable of killing millions could hit the Earth on 10 different dates. Asteroid Apophis inbound. Will it hit Earth in 2029, or will it let us live? You then had huge god of chaos asteroid could be steered into collision course with Earth during close encounter in 2029. Well, asteroid Apophis number 99942.
Now that's interesting. That's why I want to get to. So asteroid is 99942, and then upside down, it's actually 666.
Yeah.
So are you thinking that when they name this, they did this on purpose?
Yeah, because people will think, oh, it's 666 is not actually evil. Some will say, but it doesn't matter. It's the intent. It's the intent of the person creating this spell that matters. It's giving that energy. So you could see something really, really like fluffy bunnies, but this person aside, you could have had a traumatic event with it. You know what I mean? People attach memories and things and energy to things. So 666 might actually be some totally different, but to these guys, it's meant as an evil overtone.
That makes sense. And then you have the number 33 coming up.
Possibly to turn it around at 666. Asteroid number. Well, as you can see, it looks a bit iffy, to say the least. So 999, obviously 666, 42. What could it be? So here we go. 9, add 9, add 9, add 4, add 2 equals. Yep, you got it.
33.
It's a classic 33.
Wow.
Yeah.
33. That number comes up a lot, and it's amazing how you can flip it upside down to a 666. Then if you add all those numbers up, it goes to 33. Because Bob's big on numbers, and what is according to your video, the prediction date for this to hit Earth is April 13th, of course, in 2029 on Friday the 13th. So you got the 33s, you got your 13s, and then for me, 13 is something big because I showed people in the chat a long time ago that I had a number change on a uniform, and I showed people two different pictures of a 12 to a 13, and of course in the movie Meatballs, the 13 came up, whereas I don't remember that 13 ever being in there. So the 13, 33, 666, what does it all mean? I mean, it's just like, should we, Bob, in your opinion, let me ask you, Bob, should we even care about the numbers, Bob? Because you're a number guy and you always do numbers on the channel. Why should I care about 666, 33, or 13? Why should I care?
Well, again, it's a code. It's a conversation. Some people, I'm not saying a lot, but some people are getting it presented to them naturally. Like you're in a car and you're driving, you look at the car in front of you and it's got a fucking 13 on the license plate, and you go, okay, whatever. You make a right turn and you're going down the road. There's another 13 in front of you. You're like, oh, this is getting redundant. And you go to a parking lot, all of a sudden someone's walking by with a 13 t-shirt, and you say, okay, wait a minute. Bullshit, man. I can't see the probability of seeing this thing this many times. So some people are getting those kind of number things. So to me, numbers is another thing talking to us. So I'm trying to figure out what it's trying to say, what she, what the lampshade. So yeah, numbers are important for me. And like the 666 thing, people, you know, there's a lot of changes. I'm not a Christian. I'm a pagan. I look at the Bible's codes, and I keep stressing to people that Noah, it's repeated 3 times that he's 600 years old. Then you look at another parable, he's 600 years old. You look at the next page, another parable, mentioned again, he's 600 years old. Well, there's 666 right there. I'm like, well, they just said he's 600 years old for no reason 3 times in the same, that's right on the next page. So it's repeating itself even in the book. I don't remember him ever having. And then the animals are now by 7s, not 2 by 2s, but they're 7s. And 7s, I'm fucking running 7s on the gamut on that one. It's driving me nuts. But yeah, numbers are significant, and they're also significant to these the people that don't see them, because now they're pulling it out of a hat. I was part of the Freemasonry. Whatever. They have their own, like you talk about Pythagorean, all the mathematics to go with it. They have a big, beautiful thing with the 33s themselves. So they've been flashing each other with it and having a good old time with it. So it means a lot of things to a lot of people. I think they don't know, because I'm not from here, and from everything to me is different. So their meaning of 33 and my meaning of 33 is completely different, because in my time, the damn, you know, their little symbol had one long side like old Star Trek, and they had one short side. Now they have even sides, like a perfect triangle. So that's, to me, is like, so yeah, back to the numbers. It means something different to everybody equally. Everybody has their own, it's their own message from whatever turtle's talking to you. That's how I like to put it. Your message.
This guy wrote 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electron. It's carbon.
Yeah, carbon 12. Exactly. It's carbon 12. I've said that back at 16. That's the first thing I said. Carbon 12. Yeah, there we go. So it's symbols, man, and codes. You just got to learn how to read them, and don't take anything as evil right off the bat. Just kind of just do the code for it. But yeah, everybody has their own interpretation. Messages come to everybody individually. I love Sheep's fucking concepts on everything. Things are coming to you, man, like crazy, and it's making sense. And when you present it, it makes sense. That's why it's kind of cool. Everyone has their thing, and yours is not just throwabouts. It's pretty good, and you're sinking things in pretty good. I love it. Yeah, that's my take. In a nutshell.
2029 is an influential date. That is the actual anniversary of the Vatican.
Oh.
It was actually created in 1829, officially. Yeah. 1929, sorry. 1929, it became official as a papal state, the see and all that. So 1929, so obviously 2029, it's its 100th anniversary of the serpent.
Wow.
Because obviously the Vatican means divine serpent, and you have Apophis, who is a serpent.
Yeah, they do a lot of name. I'm an asteroid head myself, and they do a lot of biblical. Well, not biblical. Mostly like Egyptian names or old pantheon god names for asteroids, and they give it a killer's name. Like you said, they give it a killer's name. So the first thing a freaking truther does is go out and say the world's going to end because they gave it a killer's name, like a killer god's name. I'm like, okay, why don't they call it Bambi? Or give it a fucking soft name, and nobody will be like you said. It's a spell, though. Yeah. If you give it a kid, I hate stealing it, but I was talking about Bennu, dude. So Bennu was another asteroid that's
Egyptian creation.
Yeah, right. And so Bennu, of course, like in the same tradition you're talking about, it's a serpent god, and also it's a god of creation. It's a god of creation and renewal of life, Bennu, right? And they say in the story from NASA's science papers that it's a single asteroid that came from 2 parent asteroids. Wait a minute. So it's almost sounds like, in my opinion, almost sounds like a messiah character, like a messiah kind of a character. Obviously, serpent gods out of Egypt. Also, you have, the one that catches fire. The phoenix. The rebirth one. So and now they're taking samples from it, and I'm like, and also all the samples are organic. They're carbon based. Carbon in an asteroid in space? That is the number one flag. It says that there's life in space, but nobody's screaming that. But I don't believe it's true. But anyway, yeah.
It's like a contradiction, isn't it? Because they say everything at 99% is plasma, yet we're the 1% carbon. And then if some carbon's in space, it's like you just said 99% is plasma.
Right. And all of a sudden there's a carbon-based asteroid. Carbon comes from carbon, weird carbon, plants, carbon, everything carbon. You're sitting on carbon, man. It's like the building blocks of life, and it's just a nonchalant article about carbon-based fucking asteroid. What? I'm like, no, God, man. And I even said it, and I got maybe like 3 posts on it. I'm like, anybody in the truther community hear this? Anybody? You got it. You know what I'm talking about. Carbon.
A memory loss because I wrote down this timestamp and I can't remember why. So I'm gonna press play and find out why did I write this timestamp down.
There you go.
It's the Pope word, yeah. The Pope.
There it is.
I'm just wow. Could it not be any more in your face? I'm sorry if people are like, oh, offended. Listen, I'm just showing you what these influence these people have. We all know the church is corrupt and they have an agenda. And I've just showed you the actual Vatican is known as the divine serpent. Epep is the divine serpent. It came out of chaos. The same reference that the Illuminati and the Masons reuse, out of chaos, order out of chaos. And we know they have the links to the Jesuits. We've seen all the evidence so far. I mean, just look, the Pope is the Bishop of Rome, based in the Vatican City and head of the Roman Catholic Church. Pope comes from the Latin for father, the traditional title for bishop. So the Pope is the father. Pape is father too, and also Pope.
Huh.
So you have a direct, me making really good.
Man, I tell you what, you do your research very well because I had no idea Pape was related to the word Pope. I mean, you did a damn good job.
Yeah, the old Pope there, the old Jesuit.
That's what amazes me, because when people are talking about serpents and reptilians and all this, and the Vatican's a divine serpent, well, right. Yeah, I keep telling people its actual name derives from it. You know what I mean? So isn't that a big of a wow? And no one seems to just ignore it. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
Well, you remember the head? You've seen that damn serpent head he stands in, right? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about at the Vatican, where he stands down at the end of the serpent's head. If you look inside, Eric, if you put up a picture of the Vatican, of him at the Pope, right behind him, he's got that wooden monstrosity of fucking Jesus' head get blown off or whatever. Looked like the JFK assassination thing. But anyway, behind him, he's got that weird wooden monstrosity, which keeps changing with every Mandela effect or whatever you guys want to call this effect. Keep watching that thing. But he stands there, and if you look at the building, it's a serpent's head. Like, you are correct. You could see the fangs and the 2 eyes. I'm like, that's a serpent's head. If you look up Vatican, Eric, of him sitting in there, it's a damn serpent. So it goes what he's saying. It's a serpent's head inside of it. I'm like,
you're saying building? You're saying?
Oh, inside of it. Like inside the Vatican, like inside the building. I don't know what's the name of that building, but inside the building he preaches
in. The great, is it the Great Hall, the Assembly Hall?
Maybe it's the Great Hall. It's in there.
There it is. I see it at the bottom corner there, bottom right, the green. That is.
Oh, there it is, bottom right. Good call. You could already see the serpents. Oh, there it is.
No, it was on the screen for a minute. I just saw it. At the bottom.
Too.
There you go. You can see it on the screen. I can see it on the screen.
What row?
You can see You could see his face from
Yeah,
here.
bottom row. That's the assembly hall that looks like a serpent.
Keep going there. No. You
Every time
can't see the
the bottom row, the furthest there it is, the bottom.
Okay.
You'll see it in 2 eyes.
The furthest corner one.
Furthest one.
Right. There he is.
Okay, I'm sorry
Look
about
at the snake's head. Do
Wow.
you guys see a snake? Do you see the fangs of the snake? Now, right between them fangs is where old father fucking goofy ass stands with his red ass skin fucking shoes. And he stands right in the center of them fangs. Now, right behind them fangs, you got a wooden ass monstrosity of a blowed up Jesus person. But you see the snake? Is it me, or am I just talking? Am I crazy?
Oh,
Or is that a
You're right. He wrote, "The Pope speaks from the mouth of a snake."
So what you say about him, the snake, there's your answer. So it's proof of what you're saying. It's true,
And it's not no accident they built it like that. You don't build that by accident.
right? You're right. How would it look? Okay, so you're an architect and you're drawing this on paper. Do you not see a snake's face staring back at you? Really? Really?
I mean, you've got father in Greek is Pater, which is also like, Peter. But obviously the Egyptian, there is a god called Ptah, called father. Janus is called father too. So you have all them references to all the people that these guys look into. I mean, you got the guy there, Tom, talking about, look at the Archon. Well, the first words are arch. Janus is god of archways and archons.
At least the sidebar is agreeing what we're not crazy. Guess what? We're not crazy, guys. The three of us, we feel sane now because at least everyone.
It's strange though, isn't it? Because one person's crazy, one person's normal.
Right?
It's whole perspective.
Yeah. And people go in there to listen to that man speak. I'm like, really?
You're not
Eric, he just legalized. Now, I'm not against it. I don't give a shit. It don't bother me at all. Who cares? We have a dead gay brother. But he just came out, I think, today, and now it's okay for same-sex marriages. So he approved it. So he approved same-sex marriages today. That's a hell of a pope, man.
Yeah, but like you said, if you look at the building, if you look at the teeth, why would you make the top wider and then going down, build the concrete smaller if you're not trying to make it look like a teeth? Because just look, you said it's in the details.
Yeah, and
why would you make lights to curve? Wouldn't that be more work for electricians or anything to do this?
Well, it's a snake. I mean, remember now in this timeline, I don't remember this. I went to anthropology, I went to university, but homie's got himself the Constantine symbol on his chest. And then when I went to look at Constantine, his entire fucking story changed. Not only that, Constantine himself thought of himself as the reincarnation of Yeshua himself. He thought he was the reincarnation of Jesus. That's why he fucking wore the symbol. So technically, when these guys walk around with that symbol on they're celebrating Constantine, which was the reincarnation of Jesus. So I'm just saying it. People debunk me. Homie's got the freaking Constantine symbol, and you go to the graveyards in the day, Constantine symbol. Constantine thought he was the reincarnation of Jesus. Now, I'm an archaeologist, so how do you back your shit up? Go look at an old silver coin of Constantine. You're going to have a double face, like you talk about the double face. There's coins with his face, and then behind him is another face. And this is where Tomacon's going to freak out, because the face behind him has the Ishtar sun god crown on his head. It's got the Ishtar version of it. And so he's got two faces on there, one of him and one of him with the sun, which is the sun god. He's the son of God. Constantine thought he was the reincarnation of Jesus and the son of God. So the Pope now walks around with the reincarnation of, or whatever, Constantine. So you're technically, if you're Catholic, you're worshiping Constantine, which was the second coming of Jesus. He thought he was the second coming, and he came. And he came and went. So there you go. Now,
if we're living in a matrix world, the AI controls everything. Could all this just be planted in our head?
Well, I don't know. It's a big ass puzzle game, and like old Black Sheep, we're having a blast decoding it, man. I can tell he's happy decoding it.
I just get excited, really. You know, like stupid, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? It's like I said, if you don't keep researching, you don't find these gems. And what's beautiful is it's different for everyone. I mean, why is, for instance, you guys and me, I don't push whatever I research onto people. I leave it up to them. There's people out there who's pushing, right? You got to do this, you got to do this. Why?
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, by the way. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, that's 100% solid, man, when you say it like that. By the way, I'm testing my new taste buds.
No, you're right. There's some channels I just can't watch no more because there was pushing so much. And when you disagree with some of their things, they're like, they get the fuck out. You don't belong with us. It's like they want you to believe what they say, but they're not open to. They say they're open, but as soon as you say something that's the opposite, then they kind of like bash you up.
Bash you a little bit.
Stupid. It's like, I thought we're supposed to have an open conversation. I thought that's the idea. Yeah. You know, you did a video that I never. Where is it? Here. You did a video on Mystery of the Shroud, and there's another point of view of the shroud that I've never heard before.
Oh God, I want to hear this one.
Your video, where I've seen this on TV, where they're saying this cloth is a cloth of Jesus Christ, but now watching your video, there's people believe that it was actually Leonardo da Vinci creating one of his most masterpiece to pretend it's Jesus. But it's actually, the cloth is actually him using old technology to make it look like he's Jesus Christ.
This is what I'm waiting for, dude. I can't wait to hear you talk about this one. This is cool.
I mean, I just like to show in videos when I don't just show what I believe in. I'll show what the competitor or the alternate theory is. So I always try and get more than one theory in a video so people can make their own minds up, because, you know what I mean, it doesn't mean what I see, you see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is cool.
No, it was cool. Awesome, because first of all, I'm not a religious person. I've always told people I'm not a religious person anyway. So even if the cloth was Jesus Christ himself, I don't know if there's even enough evidence to say he's really the Messiah from God, even in the first place. I'm not. I got a lot of religion people probably gonna put a curse on me, but should I even care about if a cloth is Jesus or Leonardo? I mean, what's so special about it, Bob? Why should I even care?
Well, you know, back in my time, we studied that also the same thing. There was, like he's talking about with the Da Vinci thing. Now, I was in college. I took a black and white photography class. Also, it's part of archaeology and anthropology. So you had people in class trying to make a picture with cloth and certain chemicals using the sun, like he's talking about. Guess what? It can be done. Now, I'm not saying that the Shroud of Turin is done that way, but it can be done. It's possible to project a picture onto a cloth. You can do it. It's kind of crazy. Now, I'm not saying that's the reason. The only reason why I can't even give an opinion on it anymore is because in this place, they did. Everybody will laugh. They did all of their DNA, all of their research in a bathroom. You understand the volume of skewedness this would be. All of their testing is skewed because they did all their data in a bathroom. Understand, when you're doing science, you don't do it in a bathroom. So all of their shit's fucking thrown out. They even found fruit now. Now they found fruit on his head. They found what they consider pollen of fruit. He had with like a fruit basket on his head. They found different strains of fruit from on the crowns on his head. Not only that, the crowns themselves I guess it was in Notre Dame. I don't know. The whole thing just screams what? Crazy on that. And his hands changed for me, and his face. Everything's weird about that one. Oh, there's she. I know her. Starbucks coffee. She's the
Starbucks.
I know all about her.
Oh yeah.
I know all about her. Yeah. Just don't check her out on a Saturday. You know what I'm talking about. Don't check her out on a Saturday, because if you look at her on a Saturday, she's gonna leave you, man. It's the grounds for divorce, and she did, and she turned into a dragon. But yeah, they're not cool. That's a Mandela effect, or what you want to call the effect. I don't give a shit. But yeah, it was never like that. Starbucks never had that, the legs go up and all that fun stuff either. But I'm talking too much, man. This is all your cool stuff.
Oh, I just like listening to other people's, perspective.
Yeah.
That's why I was showing in this video. I was showing what everyone else thinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, find which one suits you best.
Yeah, and it might be real. Like you said, I don't know that it could be real. It's so hard to give an opinion after I've seen the research done on it. I'm like, I don't know now. The research is bad. It's so bad. It could be. It could be. It could have. His energy could have come through it, and it could have implanted a face, a three-dimensional face within the fabric itself. They've done the fabric thing.
The biggest hoax ever. That Leonardo did a hoax, or
Leonardo could have did it.
Well, created as a hoax. I mean, or they just found a piece of cloth in a cave and said, "Hey, this is Jesus Christ."
The one thing now, here's the thing that makes me scratch my head. Now, out of the entire thing of the shroud, I'm going to put this out there. As an archaeologist, the only one thing that made me scratch my head was after certain people, who, if you trust them, had done testing on the shroud, they proved, it was produced by a lot of energy. But what they're saying was the energy didn't come from the outside, wasn't projected from the outside to the fabric. It somehow is projected from underneath the fabric out. So that's when I went, wait a minute. So it was produced, the energy was not from the front to the fabric, it was from the behind the fabric out. So I was like, how did it reverse itself? How did that happen? Because the fabric, the way they do the dimensional thing on the front face of it is the fabric is out. Like, other words, if you're busting out of a window, if you're breaking out of a house and you have shattered glass, and the guy calls the cops and says, somebody broke into my house, and the cop walks in and notices that the shattered glass is on the outside of the house, not the inside of the house. He's going to say, well, were you trying to break out of your house, or was there a thief breaking out of your house? Because the glass is on the outside. So why the hell are you saying a thief broke in on the inside? So you see the kind of the joke behind it? Yeah. Just
doing all these videos, you know what I mean? And seeing what other people think. And it is okay to agree to disagree.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no reason why you can't keep it some sort of politeness. You know what I mean? It's just a video. Why do you need to get angry? You know what I mean? It's just different perspectives.
Absolutely. Everybody has a piece, because you could have a piece. I just like a little piece. I have a little piece. Throw away the rest of my garbage. Most of my shit's garbage. Keep that piece, and then you come up with a better hypothesis, and you say, hey, dude, I took a piece of your shit and threw all this away, but look what I have. I'm like, oh, well, happy you did that, man. Thank you for throwing my other garbage away, and I got to see this bigger piece. Now let me shave this piece off, and let me just add this guy's piece that nobody likes, and then, it fits. It all fits now. It's kind of weird.
You talk about being an archaeologist, and like I said, obviously people do. Did you know about the second Roman wall in Britain? Obviously,
what?
you have the famous Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah, the Hadrian's Wall,
And according to Rome, that's the furthest they got.
Yeah.
That was the edge of the universe, basically. Well, no, they didn't. There's another wall so many miles in front of that called the Antonine Wall.
No, man. Never heard of
you know what I mean? That's what I've even talked to people who live there. They never even knew it was there.
I've never heard of that. I've heard it. This is the first time I've ever heard of it now.
There's like Hadrian's Wall, and we all know that's in films. Yes. The Eagle and all the Centurion. You're seeing Martin and King, the King Arthur. Yeah, there was another wall called Antonine Wall.
Antonine, I got her. Eric, please, God, look that up. Oh, we got time. I'm over here, man. I want to go see that.
I think it's about 50 miles, 30 miles in front of that other. I've done a video on it. It's a long time ago I did on it, but I was just blown away because I've been there to Hadrian's Wall. I asked them, is even the people there, yes, this is the last, the hold of England. Yep, and then you find out, nope, there's another wall that no one ever mentions.
What's the name of that wall? Hey, Bob, what's the name of that wall?
He's going to say right now.
Spelling up for you, because it is.
I gotta see this, man. I gotta see this. Yeah, I think they're all the way down into fucking China now, in Japan. I think someone even said there was evidence.
A-N-T as ant, O-N-I-N-E, Antonine Wall.
A-N-T-O-N-I-N-E.
Yeah, so it's Anton and then 9, like, Antonine.
Let's see this.
Okay, let me share the screen.
Gotta see this. Here we go. Oh, what is this?
So as you can see, there's a map there, second row, and that actually shows you the distance from the other wall.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So that's the remnants of, obviously the remnants of the wall. I wonder if it was a first wall and then they got it breached and they built a second wall. Wow.
I'm not quite sure because it's been a while since they made it. I think they made the Antonine second. I'm not quite sure. You're talking about it roughly about a year ago. I made it, but if like I said, you have the map on the second line, the first one in the second line, and that'll show you. Can you see? Yeah, built 20 years later.
No fucking way.
Now, why does no one ever talk about that? And that's what my question is. Why? Why is it always Hadrian's Wall and no one talking about further the Antonine Wall? I've had people who were subs saying they are science majors and archaeologists, and they've never heard of it.
Never heard of it, dude, till right now. Like you're on the show. I have never heard of that. I have never heard of that. I'm looking at a picture of it. There's the diagram for it.
A shout out for you, Black researcher. Videos knock it out of the house.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's got great stuff. This is awesome.
So it just goes against everything, you know what I mean? Because I just love history. How many films have been brought up of, like we were talking about the Roman soldiers marching Hadrian's Wall, them saying this is the last strangle, that's fort, and then it's the cannibals, the Scots, the Picts, and all that. Well, no, we had another wall further up, which we never mentioned.
Wow. The Romans, they didn't play around, man. Wow. 7 Elohim, what divine creatures. The 7 that's been hitting me. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, let's face it, with the fascist in the United States government now, I think we can all kind of have a little bit, we can all say that Rome made it to the Americas. I think Rome made it everywhere now. I think this is pretty much evidence that Rome is in charge still.
Well, what did he call South America? They call it Latin America.
I'm gonna pull this up because this was sent to me in an email, and I'll be flat out honest, I don't know too much about this, but I'm gonna share it and see what you guys think of it. It was sent to me in an email before the show.
Oh God.
New Naxat line geography discovered 120 foot long cat. So this was sent to us. Why was it sent to us? What's so special about this?
Well, it just looks like someone's drawn it yesterday. Obviously, the cat looks like like a child's drew it. I mean, people have to understand Nazca gets hardly any temperature changes or wind, so I could scrub that into the floor 1,000 years ago and it'd still be here tomorrow. There's no way of you saying how old that is, but that is new. Yeah, the cat. It looks like
that's new for me, man. A kitty cat. Now they've got a cat.
No, it was sent to me, and I was like, okay. I'm wondering.
This isn't the Science Digest news. I mean, this is being presented as real. So the narrative is real. I mean, again, like he says, you could. I mean, we know that there are like I talk, you know, like the old in England you have, you know, the crop circles. There's all actual crop circles, but then you have the fake ones.
Yeah.
So you got to take it 50-50. So I don't know enough about it, but you know,
I used to live in the heart of the crop circle when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, no, you damn, I'm jealous.
You know what I mean? And obviously, I was a kid. My dad was in the army, and he, you know, for me listening because I was nosy. You know what I mean? And some of them they did, some of them are fake, but some of them were real. That's what was scaring them. They didn't know what was creating them. You know what I mean? So you have that plethora of different information. Who do you go off? You know what I mean? So that.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been to people think Stonehenge is fake because we've seen the footage, but people don't realize that it's been bombed a couple of times. That people don't know about that. It's also been moved. People don't know about that. In World War II, it was on the flight path, so they had to knock it down. And what I was saying is, how many times does something have to be repaired to be original? And you know what I mean? It's like, you know, because you live in this country, you know, Only Fools and Horses.
Oh, yeah.
And you have Trigger. And he said, oh, this is my brush. I've had it for 26 years. It's only had 12 brush heads, 16 handles. How many times does it have to change for not to be original? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, I saw that. There are other two I call like the paranormal effect, whatever mental effect researchers over here who themselves put out videos about these castles. Even I have been to them, and I said, "Is this a form of conglomerate like cement that they made this fucking castle out of?" Because you take a section out, I go, "This is filled cement." Or this ain't a real castle.
But also, I have to say, people don't realize that cement's been around for thousands of years.
Okay.
And the Romans not invented it, but Romans used to do cement, used to make it. So cement has been here forever. Well, forever, for a long time, but not to the standards. I mean, you can see some of the Stonehenge. Yes, it does look like it's just been dipped, like an ice cream or something. You know what I mean? It's just been dipped. And that's my point. It's about the location, the ley lines it's on. And people are just like figuring, oh, yes, it's fake because of some of the stone, well, most of the stones. I know for a fact that it was bombed by the IRA because of its significance to history, but that's not in the press. No one knows that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's just from what I've heard when I used to live down there. I used to climb all over it. You used to be able to go to it, climb over it, do what you want, because my dad was one of the bosses, you know, high up in the army. There's places in Salisbury where they have, you know, like where they tested weapons and Asteroids on. You could just walk and you can see Roman pottery, everything just on the surface. You don't even have to dig.
Wow.
That's how crazy it is. And that's shut off to the public because it's a test fire site. But certain times of the day, there's no testing. And my dad used to drive me down there and walk it and pick up pottery, Roman pottery, coins, everything.
Oh man, get the coins, dude. They're always turning up coins. These farmers are always finding like caches of coins, man. I'm like, what?
I mean, I'm so interested. I used to metal detect. You know what I mean? I found so much. I found hammered coins, rings, you name it.
Damn, man. I want to get a metal detector so bad.
I asked if they have any questions. We got like 10 minutes left. I don't know if this is an inside joke or question for you, Paul. Somebody says, ask Paul why he don't wear the shirts anymore.
Or the t-shirt.
By that,
because it's getting winter and cold over here. I wear a different collection of t-shirts. Some of them are really, really bright and really obscene. And you know what I mean? Some people laughing and well, that's cool because if I can make people laugh and enjoy the video and enjoy me talking, I don't mind wearing something that it looks like you've been sick on it. You know what I mean?
It's like an inside joke or something. I don't know. I don't know if this is.
I've known Salty Cedar for a while. Yeah.
Will we pass? Win. I don't know what he means by that.
He's probably thinking, will we ever win in this realm? And we can only win if we join together. Because if you think, you know what I mean, it's we've got different communities and we're all arguing about certain things. Yet we're forgetting about the real enemy who's controlling what we're doing now.
Yeah.
You mean people don't realize I did a video on it. The first city to go back into lockdown in the UK was Leicester. Right, months ago, re-lockdown. Now, that is the only place in the UK that has a Janus temple. You know what I mean? So, and Janus has to come first all the time. He's the god of gods. So that Leicester has the temple, and it's called the Jury Wall. It's part of that. It's a Roman, and that's the first city to go into re-lockdown months ago. And it has a Roman temple of Janus, who this pandemic is for year 2020, the duality.
I've been hearing, I'm not just agreeing with you, but I have been hearing a lot of buzz about the god Janus.
Yeah, I've been researching it for a while. Certain people will say he is Trump, which he's not, but it's showing traits. You know what traits mean? It's like it's even like Bill Gates. Bill Gates' name, Gates, in Latin, it's January. It means gates, it's doorways. But Janus was the first pope. Who was Noah. You have maritime law.
Maritime law.
And if Janus is a god of gods, I mean, the pineal gland's occult name is called Janus. There's me trying to show you all these connections of Janus, or Janus, how you want to pronounce it, to, really show people what is going on in Trump. They believe in Janus or Janus. The significance, I mean, you look at it, people talk about CERN. Well, CERN is Janus because it's Cerninus. That's his horned god, because he has so many different types of ethos. I mean, I'll tell you now, he has a female aspect, right? Her name is Cardia. Cardia is short for cardinals. Where do we have cardinal?
Yeah, cardinal.
And also, what's the directions of the Earth called? Cardinal directions.
Yeah. There's a lot of gods.
Yeah, and he started off with 4 faces, 4 heads.
Yeah. No, you said it went to 2. Now, what is that? Explain that to me. Now,
in different religions from thousands of years ago, and you see him through India, he has 3 heads and different things. He's all around the world. You have him in Ireland, on Janus Island. But he goes to 2. Now, people think, he's just got 2 heads. But technically, he has 3. He's in the past and the present, and he's in the now. He's invisible because it's in the present. Okay. So even though you see it differently, it is 2 heads. So he morphed to 2 heads. And when, for instance, if we're talking now and we're getting on friends, and then, for instance, we disagree something, and you call me or I call you, and we're not going to do that, but I'm showing an example. People will say, you're being two-faced. It's even in our language. You are two-faced. It's named after him.
You do know that the Freemason symbol, there used to be a single knight on a horse. Now there's 2. I was in the Freemasonry, and I'm going, I'm a little bit weirded on this double horse guy. There's 2 guys on a horse. Now, I'm not going to say any names, but there was another person who was kind of similar to my situation, who made a video saying, hey, there's 2 fucking knights on this horse. I didn't feel crazy anymore. It took an ex-Freemason to say the same thing. I'm like, there are 2 knights on this fucking horse. Now, one to me looks injured, and the other one does not. The one has got the reins, and the other one is just hugged up behind. There are 2 knights. I don't know if to me it's the same. To me, it feels like it's the same knight, but there's 2 of them. I always joke about part 2, but one seems injured and weak, and the other one seets strong. Do you know about that one? Did you hear about that?
2 horses, on that symbol. I think I showed it in one of my videos. I don't know which one it is. Like I say, people, their opinion is maritime law was when the Phoenicians, and I know about the Phoenicians. I've done a little bit. I even did a video not long ago with Martin, who has researched it heavily, flat Earth British. I believe maritime law is by the Romans, Roman. Noah was the first shipbuilder. Everyone can agree on that because he built the ark. Well, Noah's name is Janus. So if he's the first shipbuilder, wouldn't maritime law go with the first shipbuilder?
Yeah,
I could be totally wrong, and I'm not lambasting anyone's study because I don't know. I can't prove it. I can only show stuff I find through history, and it quite stately says Janus Noah. That's his name, but you know him by many names. Uranus. He's Uranus is Janus.
Yeah. No, I've been having a lot of things with Noah. Again, it's rabbit holes. Like, I'll start off with something doing this, and then something will lead me here, and it ends up with Noah. I'm not starting off with Noah. You know what I'm saying? It ends up with Noah. Now you're talking about Noah. You're adding to my synchronicity. You know what synchronicity? You've had synchronicities. Your Noah is my synchronicity. I have, in fact, I talked about Noah today. I read a passage from Noah today. Just today. I read
when you talk about Noah, you news on about it before, I think. Noah has been seen as a giant. He's huge. He lasted for so many years, 600 years, and he's huge. In Genoa Cathedral, it states, Janus, king of progeny of giants. So he is even a giant.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It all ties in, but history is a lie, all of it. So how can we differentiate from each one? Who's to say that's right and that's wrong? We've only got our gut instinct or what resonates with us, but that might be wrong. We just don't know, you know.
Well, see what the newest thing I had about Noah, and I talked about the last show, was the 66 the 23. Now 23. So it goes back to Noah. For me, it's a Noah coincidence because the number 23. What the fuck does 23 have to do with anything? 23 steady is 666. Everyone kept saying 23 when you do the whole math for it, it's 666 negative 0.66 going all the way down. Now it stops at 7. It doesn't. It's not reoccurring anymore. So listen to this. So it's 23 is 666 recurring. So it stops at a 7 now. And I look at Noah. He in all the passages, he's 600 years old. He's 600 years old. He's 600 years old. All of a sudden, he's 601. Like, oh, now he's 600 and what? At the last day, it's in the. I don't remember that part of the Bible. He's 601. There's your 7. So it's like 666, and then it has the 7. So I go, wait a minute. Now these 7s are popping the fuck up on the ends of 6. Of course, 6 and 7 is 13. But anyway, the 6 is, and then it hits the 7 thing. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then we talk about, again, with all the weird things with Noah. It keeps going back to Noah. Just me, and it's a sync, and it doesn't mean anything. So it might mean something to him because maybe he's syncing with Noah. I'm syncing with Noah. Other people might be syncing with it. I don't know why. And maybe it's just a coincidence. And probably 99.9%, I love that. We're both it's just a fake coincidence. Well, he just happened to, we just happen to be on the same side.
Here's a quote from maybe it's Medela. Noah dove always carried back an olive branch. Now it's one olive leaf.
Yeah, I know. It's an olive leaf. Not only that, don't forget about the 2 ravens. Don't you guys forget about the two ravens. So who else sends out 2 ravens other than Odin? But anyway, 2 ravens. Now there was no raven ever involved in that part. It was just the dove and the olive branch, right? Now it's a leaf and 2 ravens.
And then I saw a paranormal effect right here in the chat. Tomicon said his son was born in 2023, which is in the future. Somehow it changed to 2003.
How the hell did I? There you go, 2003. Yeah, 23. Yeah.
What does he say? You can grow a tree from a branch, not a leaf.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but yeah, it come back with a. But he made it though, because remember it now. It's changed in there because when Noah saw a rainbow, so he got there. He's like, "Oh, God said there's a rainbow." He looked, "Oh, the rainbow." I always remember the rainbow. It could be wrong. I could have heard it wrong my entire life. Let's put a disclaimer out there. Yeah. But my grandpa always said a rainbow. I always thought he saw a rainbow, but now he don't see no rainbow. He sees a bow. B-O-W. Just a bow.
I don't know shit about Noah, but this person wrote Noah has 4 sons now instead of 3. I don't know what that's about, but
he has 4 sons now.
I mean, I don't know anything about Noah. I don't even know if he had any kids, but
okay. I didn't know this. I didn't know this. So anybody else? I didn't know about the second wall. That's awesome. I didn't know Noah had 4 sons.
Let me just say that because we did hit our 2-hour mark, and I just want to show people. I'm gonna put his link. His link is in the description of my channel. If you guys want to check out his page, but I'm also going to put in the chat. Every one of you should go and check out the Black Sheep Researcher if you have not done so already, because
absolutely
he's got a bunch of different kind of videos, just like our channel, that we don't talk about the same subject every single day. I mean, he's got Janus, he's got time, Janus, the many-faced god.
I can see that.
I mean, he's got the mystery of the shroud on here. I mean, re-lockdown ritual, Denver airport revisited. I mean, he's got a bit of everything on his channel, guys. Look, giant trees. I mean, there's so much stuff on here that it's wonderful. And he's such an open-minded person, and he's willing to go on your channel and just be open-minded and talk on his beliefs. It's wonderful. The Black Eye Club. I mean, we can talk all day because some of the stuff I have never heard of. I wonder what the Black Eye Club is. I don't even know what that is. I mean, this is just freaking awesome. So my question for Paul before we get out of here is would you ever come back on in the future to discuss more of your videos? I mean, I just touched on 3 or 4 of your videos. You got so much. Are you willing to ever come back on in the future?
Yeah, I'll come back anytime you want me to come back on. You know, I always like having a chat with different people and seeing different perspectives. I just love it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do it enough. People keep telling me off in my messages, go and out there and experiment, you know, go and meet other people. Because like I said, nowadays, each video is taking me about a week to make. And then I just started doing a live every Friday. So it's weird how trying to fit everything. But yeah, I'd love to come back on anytime. I've really, really enjoyed myself. And some of the stuff, I mean, it's obviously it's just obviously my opinion, but it's good stuff. Not being, I cover everything. I mean, I've got a range called spell etymology, because obviously a word is spells, and I find a different meaning for each word.
Nice.
And you know, so I've got a bit of everything in there. The secret chords, a good video that's talking about the vocal chords.
This is a good one too. I was checking out today the great vowel shift and about the history of the words. How language.
Check that out. I'm gonna watch that today. I'm gonna go look at that.
Yeah, that's why people talk about all these floods and resets, rasets. You know what I mean? So that is a huge one. I mean, you're talking about the 12th to the 18th century. All English language was changed. The vowels were 7 and it went down to 5, right? Who's to say it was any more than that? So they changed the vowels, they changed where we spoke in the throat, they changed everything. They changed the frequency of the spell. Now, you don't have to believe it, but in Gnostic, like I was saying before, they say we keep getting reincarnated if you don't learn every word in this realm. So if you get to the first doorway of heaven, and he said, can I come in? Do you know my name? And obviously you've not researched or been enlightened. You know what I mean? Enlightened. You've not learned knowledge. You can't get through. So you got to come back and being reincarnated. So that's why they did it. The vowels, they changed it so we could not progress in life or in heaven. If you think about, people talk about all the time, I'm reincarnated. I've had so many lives. It's because they're keeping us here, like the harnessing our soul energy or whatever you want to call it. But the great vowel shift, people don't know it exists. That's where they changed everything. We had the heliocentric model brought in that time period. Everything was brought in.
Yeah. No, I'm going to check that out.
Reincarnation. We got to do a show one day based on reincarnation. I think that'll be just freaking awesome.
Well, you know, you're talking about the Jesuits before, and we're talking about Jesuits, and people say they're behind everything. I've showed pictures of the Jesuit seal, and he had 2 heads. Janus.
Yeah.
Two-headed eagle, 33 and 32.
Yeah, the Pope Jesuit. Yeah, and remember, going back to, he's got the symbol on his chest of Constantine, and Constantine has 2 heads. He shows one of his face. He's got don't just say, throw my shit away. Go look for the coin, people. You'll see the coin and go, oh, there's the coin. It's a silver coin of Constantine, which I have never saw before in my life. Let me say this right now. It's new for me, and I went to school for it. A silver coin with 2 heads, one with him and one with him with the tiara on his head, the sun god. He thought himself reincarnated from Jesus. Again, it goes back to what you were talking about, the 2 heads. Yeah.
Everything's just so interesting. I mean, the latest video I'm doing now, I can't say too much because I don't like ruin surprise, but I'm doing it about London and how the Crown, basically, people don't realize the Crown own London. There's London, Greater London. And then there's a City of London. It's a different entity. It's completely different. It's a corporation. And it's owned by, they call it the Crown. So people think the Queen's the crown. She's not. She's got to ask permission to enter the City of London. She's got to come along. The Lord Mayor, they have 2 mayors, one for Greater London and everywhere else. And then the City of London has the Lord Mayor. He comes out and she has to touch the sword to get in. It's just remarkable. And then the stuff that I'm finding out is wow. I mean, I'll tell you a little snippet now. Is we've all seen Coronas everywhere and we all get maps. And this is how many's in this district. I've got a map and it shows you London, City of London, blank. They don't have to talk to. They're a different government.
Yeah, they're sovereign. It's the same thing with Washington, D.C. D.C. sovereign. D.C. is sovereign. London is sovereign. And the Vatican is sovereign.
And all of them are tied together because it's all from the banking system. The first bank ever, you know what I mean? People think was made in Genoa.
I didn't know that.
1408, the first bank, the Bank of St. George. St. George's, Genoa's flag is England flag.
St. George the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, England used to pay Genoa, a little town, money to use their flag. And then these guys left Genoa and they went to Geneva, right? Set the banking system up there. Then they left there and they went to London. That's why they got the flag with a sword on it, because it's a different entity.
That's good. That's good.
So that's what I'm working on now, and I'm tying in and different. I'm so excited for this, and I didn't think it was going to be as interesting as I was going to find it. You know what I mean? But it's crazy because it all came from. I just found a picture of one of the oldest banks in London. People think it's the Bank of England, and it's called Cause. And they have the double-headed eagle as soon as you go through the front door.
Yeah, Roman.
You know what I mean? With the black and white tiled floor. And you can't just go in there as a bank. You have to be recommended. And you have to have at least 250,000 to 500,000 pounds just to get in the door. They're the only bank it did very well in the recessions and all the economic downfall. They made a profit. Because, you know what I mean? It's just crazy.
When you do that one, man, make sure you come on.
Yeah,
I'm making it now. It's crazy because they have a guy, the City of London, have a guy in the Parliament, right? He sits behind the Speaker. He's that important. He sits behind him, and his name is the Remembrancer. That's his name. That's his title, and he's there to oversee that City of London's affairs are looked after in the House of Parliament. Yet no one knows who he is and where he sits.
That's fucking cool. That is so cool. I love this place, man.
First,
sorry, man. We got off path for a second.
I apologize to Bob because it's hard to concentrate on Bob when he's bunny rabbit with the battery. I'm watching Bob and I'm looking at that bunny rabbit just smiling at him. I was like, man, is Bob insulted by me putting him next to the bunny rabbit?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the bunny rabbit. It's symbolic.
Beyond that, guys, I do got to end the show. I got some things to do, so I want to thank Paul for coming on. This was awesome. It was fantastic, and I apologize. I saw some people in the chat that thought that the whole show was going to be about the Matrix. It was just to start off the show. Today was about just talking everything with Paul, and then in the future when Paul comes back, we can narrow it down to certain subjects and do more of it in depth. Today was just talking everything through Paul to find out. Just find out a lot of things. There's so much stuff out there, and there's so much awesome thing, just awesome. And Paul, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Bob and I will be on tomorrow doing our normal horror talk because Halloween's coming up. We're gonna pick a horror movie. That's gonna be tomorrow, and Friday we're back to normal.
I was watching The Shining today.
Shining.
We actually did The Shining already, so we can't do The Shining, and I haven't decided what horror movies for tomorrow. But Friday we'll have a cool subject, so hopefully everybody comes back on Friday. And beyond that, Paul, anything you want to tell people? Like you got a video coming out next week, or kind of
I should be going live Friday, hopefully, but my video won't be too long. It's so weird. Like I said, it took me a week to do half an hour, and then I have to do my thoughts, and it won't be long. But that's on London. That is called The Crown, and people you've heard of Circle and stuff like that. Well, they're owned by The Crown, they're crown agents of them. So they, you know, they're how influential. So that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about London, how influential they are, and people don't know they're a separate entity. And this is a killer. If you add London to the boroughs of London, you know, the city of London together, there's 33. But because it's separate, there's only 32. But if you add City of London to the London boroughs, there would be 33 boroughs.
There it is.
Yeah, thanks for having on. Like I said, I couldn't see the chat much, so but I appreciate you guys letting me come on.
They wrote, Paul has great research, you know, great show. I mean, there's been a lot of great compliments throughout the chat today about you. I haven't seen one person that said anything negative to you. All the negative things probably towards me and Bob. Everybody hates
people hate me. It's fun. It's easier that way.
Beyond that, I'm going to end it. Thank you very much. And everybody, please have a fun rest of the day and see you guys all later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
So blind and the hour is nearing midnight.